we have a new issue moving its way in. An atmospheric river right around the corner, bringing in loads of rain, anywhere up to around 3.5 inches for Wednesday alone up in the North Bay. Watch this as we time it out, because today is just a partly cloudy day. Tomorrow, as we wake up in those early morning hours, we start seeing light rain building into moderate to heavy pockets of rain all the way into that 9 o'clock hour up near Santa Rosa, stretching down into San Francisco. Now, that same event is going to continue to windshield wiper its way down into the Santa Clara Valley, bringing in heavy showers there too. Tomorrow, we could see about 1.5 inches of rain down into the Santa Clara Valley, and as that system moves its way up into the Sierra, it'll bring in plenty of snow for our friends up there too. It doesn't let off until around Thursday morning. Even at that point, we're still left with unsettled weather into Thursday and Friday. That's the reason why the National Weather Service has called for a flood watch already for all of the Bay Area. If you live in those flood-prone areas, this is the time to prepare today. Make sure you're gearing up and getting ready for tomorrow. Up into the Sierra, they are under a winter storm watch, which will last until Friday afternoon. Now, as we take a look at what's happening for us today, it's not nearly as warm as yesterday. Like I mentioned, 70s in San Francisco yesterday. Today, we're sitting in the 60s. Same trend over in Oakland, same trend off into the East Bay, and down into the Santa Clara Valley we go. There's one pocket of the Bay Area that actually hits the 70s today. It's San Jose. It's 71 degrees this afternoon, but we are going to get rid of the 70s once we head into the rest of this week. We're right back down to average temperatures, 50s into our Friday and Saturday forecast. Heading into Sunday, more rain returns into the Bay Area, so really it is going to be a very wet setup heading into the next couple days. We need to prepare now. Make sure you have those umbrellas ready to go for those kiddos heading to school. Make sure you give yourself extra space on the roads. It's going to be a wet and cool day for us Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, same trend. It lets up a little bit for Saturday as we gear up for more heading into Sunday.
We are your Super Bowl station, and the showdown is set for Vegas in less than 2 weeks. The Niners will face the Kansas City Chiefs at Allegiant Stadium for Super Bowl 58, and the Niners are ready.
I'm very happy for this team, this organization, franchise, to get back and get this opportunity because, losing an NFC Championship game 2 more times, it's not very fun. You put an extra 2 weeks in and then you lose. It's like, that stings.
It'll be a rematch from 4 years ago. Kansas City beat San Francisco in Super Bowl 54. The 49ers looking to avenge that loss. Now, even before the 49ers secured their tickets to the Super Bowl, the faithful made their way to Sin City. Our Reed Cowan is in Las Vegas to show us where the faithful can catch the big game.
This place is called Stadium Swim, and the reason we wanted to show this to you is because if you're coming to Las Vegas and you want the Super Bowl experience, but you can't afford the big ticket at the really big stadium, this is a great place to come. And we have proof of that because we got a little tip a couple of days ago that if we showed up on championship game day, we would find San Francisco repping from the Bay here in Las Vegas. And I met a new friend. You're going to love her. Watch.
The energy at Stadium Swim in Las Vegas, electric. And we met some megawatt California energy in the form of Ariane Roland.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
It is so crowded out here.
And you're repping the 49ers.
Hey, not again.
Getting to Las Vegas, no easy feat due to airline delays, but this one stayed faithful.
And I waited at the airport for 9 hours to get here.
It was that important.
9 hours, it was important. I gotta see my Niners.
And watching the championship game, she saw her Niners the same way Super Bowl fans who don't have a ticket to the big game will watch the game. Check out this screen.
Listen, it's got the biggest screen I've ever seen in my life. Oh, it is very important to get a good seat here. Even though that screen is big, atmosphere is everything.
Roland watched the Niners struggle but knew they would pull out a win. And when they did, she tells me she's thrilled she got to see it in Vegas before the Niners get here.
Almost, in a way, you're paving the way for the Niners before. It's like, I'll go and prepare a place for you.
Listen, that's what the faithful do. That's what the faithful do.
And that's what the faithful do. And you know what else they do? They connect with others, reminding all of us it is not just about the game.
It's not just about the game. It's about getting where we to our destination. This is our destiny. We were meant to be here.
So listen up, Niners fans. You are a part of something. And forever and going forward, know this. Once you've won, nobody can ever take a win away. And before you get here, red and gold soldiers, know Ariane Rowland prepared a place for you and is keeping the faith.
We're here as a family, as a faithful. Listen, win or lose, I'm here. I'm a faithful till I die. But this is our time. This is our time. It's more than just a game for us. It's our destiny.
So when a smart woman says, listen, you listen. And did you notice that when she drove her points home, it came with a listen. And she also got a win. So we have so many connections, so many great things that we can be proud of in the Bay Area. This place was packed with 49er faithful.
That looks like a really fun place to watch a football game. Well, Reed will be in Vegas for us all week long, showing us how the city is getting ready for the Super Bowl. We'll have live reports on our morning show beginning at 5 a.m. And across the country, football fans are now picking their teams. And this year, the Niners will have some unlikely support from fans in Philly. Little history there. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Niners last year in the NFC Championship, but then lost to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. For some fans, they say picking a Super Bowl team can get a little complicated.
I've been following Niners since Joe Montana.
I'm going to still cheer for the Niners, but, you know, this is our backup team.
We just all started watching the games together, and now we have about 100 to 125 members.
Airlines are trying to make it easier for Niners fans to get to the game in Vegas. And as our Jose Martinez shows us, some are using old school methods to secure their seats.
Well, now that it's official, 49ers fans are rushing to secure their tickets to go to Vegas. So many local agencies here in San Francisco and in other parts of the Bay Area are also working really hard to offer these packages to help these fans get to their destination. It's been a busy couple of hours for Yvette Gomez and her team here at Imperial Travel Service in the Mission.
We were getting a lot of texts this morning, a lot of emails, but honestly, a lot of our faithful 49ers, they started buying tickets from 2 weeks ago.
Her family has owned this travel agency for over 45 years, and since the 49ers confirmed their presence at the Super Bowl last night, many fans like Tara Pabla are excited to go.
I've never been to a Niners game that was this exciting, so I'm very excited that they're going to the Super Bowl, and I hope that maybe I can go.
It's been all hands on deck trying to offer the best options for many fans trying to get to Vegas next weekend.
We have a special with Circus and Oil Hotels. These are the ones that are very close to the walkway to the Legion Stadium, where you can just do a walk through at $960 per person, including airfare. This will give you hotel and stay for 3 nights, Friday to Monday.
Although we're 2 weeks away from the big game, Yvette tells me they're already adjusting their hours to serve more people.
Probably going to open maybe an hour longer in the evenings because, you know, people have to work.
Airlines are also adjusting their plans. American said it would add 10 direct flights between San Francisco and Las Vegas from February 8th to the 13th. And both Delta and Southwest are doing the same. So here it's all about what's best for you.
They have it from San Francisco. Let's see what from San Jose. A lot of people are South Bay. You know, there's a lot of Southwest flights have been added. They're all going. And of course, the East Bay. They're all right there too, East Bay tickets.
Yvette tells me last night's game was definitely the confirmation for many fans that are also turning it into a whole vacation.
Las Vegas, this is the best time to be there. It's beautiful weather. It's a nice 70 degrees. People are, you know, are going for the food. They're going for the excitement.
But don't wait too long, she says. It's about to get pretty expensive.
And now, of course, it's just crazy. It's crazy. The airfares are about $500 round trip right now, if we can get that. But honestly, if you get it with a hotel package, I think it's the better bet.
And Yvette tells me their busiest days will definitely be next Thursday and Friday for those last-minute travelers.
American Airlines is adding special Super Bowl flights from Kansas City to Las Vegas. The flights include a nod to Taylor Swift and her boyfriend, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Flight number 1989 is dedicated to the year Swift was born and, of course, the title of one of her albums. And Flight 87 is a nod to Kelsey's jersey number. And speaking of 1989, that's the same year the Niners defeated the Bengals in Super Bowl 23. The Niners won 20-16, earning them their third championship. And if you're hoping to see the big game in person at Allegiant Stadium, be prepared to shell out some serious dough. Tickets on StubHub this morning range from $6,300 to $86,000 per seat. On Ticketmaster, tickets were advertised for as much as $55,000. Can you imagine? Well, if you can't snag a ticket for Super Bowl 58 in Vegas, we've got you covered. You can watch the game on KPIX and streaming on Paramount Plus. That's on February 11th. And still ahead on CBS News Bay Area, much more coverage of the 49ers. Their playoff run is helping in all kinds of ways. The excitement for bars in San Francisco. Plus, one of the oldest 49er-themed restaurants in the Bay Area is not only serving fans, but the team itself. How the Canyon Inn became the go-to place for the Niners. And Niner fans are still basking in the glory of Sunday's victory against the Chiefs. We'll catch up with one diehard fan who is stocking up on commemorative merch at the team store.
These are the stories that inspire us.
This is where we're going to build all the bikes.
Connect us.
All right, guys.
Drive us. These are the stories that reveal our true character.
This is the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Told by those who believe in the power of community.
Oh my goodness.
Good to see you.
The kinds of stories you'll only see here.
Oh, man.
Our stories define us.
Cloudy day for us today here in the Bay Area as we gear up for heavy showers rolling their way into the Bay Area tomorrow, heading in the morning hours. It starts up in the North Bay. They're expected to see about 3.5 inches of rain all throughout Wednesday's forecast. Down into the Santa Clara Valley into the afternoon hours, it starts to windshield wiper its way in. We'll see moderate to heavy pockets of rain all throughout tomorrow. So on the surface level, we need to take it slow. On the roads, we need to make sure we have those umbrellas ready to go. Heading into the evening hours tomorrow night, the rain still doesn't let up. We're seeing consistent rain along the peninsula until around midnight. After that, we gear up for light showers expected Thursday heading into Friday.
Well, for bars across the Bay Area, it's been an uphill battle to boost business to pre-pandemic numbers. Thankfully, for bars like the Kezar Pub in Coal Valley, this new Niner gang has been a blessing. Kezar Pub has a history with the Niners. They're located right across from the team's first home, Kezar Stadium. We spoke to the owner and employees about all the enthusiasm, and they say business has boomed 40% for a big Niners game.
People tend to close out their checks in a little happier fashion than when they lose. So I'd say we make probably double the money that we would on another Sunday.
People tend to get excited and spend more money and buy drinks for their friends and buy lots of food. So it's been pretty good. It's been very good, actually.
And with super steep prices for Super Bowl tickets, that means many fans will take to their local bars Sunday to watch the big game. And one Peninsula restaurant should be particularly packed on Super Bowl Sunday. It got its start in the 70s when the Niners could best be described as pretty awful. So the owner made the team an offer. And as John Ramos reports, it cost him a lot, but also paid off big.
He was at this gas station when Tim Harrison noticed an abandoned 7-Eleven across the street and thought it would make a good location for a restaurant. It was 1972.
All those booths over there were deli cases. It was empty, full of Slurpee cups.
So he opened the Canyon Inn, serving up hamburgers that his customers loved. But Harrison's love was reserved for the 49ers. He remembers watching his heroes like Y.A. Tittle and Hugh McElhaney playing at Kezar. But the team never had a whole lot of success, so in 1981, he offered to host a rally for the team in his parking lot to stir up some local spirit.
He says, you know what, Tim, the only way you're going to get these guys up here is if you give something away. And I started thinking, geez, I'm trying to help these guys.
So he made the team an offer, a free meal for anyone in the organization, including office staff, on weeks when the team won.
What do they have to lose? They only get won by 3 games a year, right? Well, that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. They went 16-3, and the rest is kind of history.
Talk about timing, but it worked, and players and coaches began frequenting the place. Harrison still has the free meal card issued to Jack Hacksaw Reynolds. Now the restaurant has a burger named after him.
How much did it cost you to feed these guys for free?
It turned out to be a lot, quite a bit. I never really stopped to add it up at $10,000. And those are old 81 prices,
But for what it cost him, he got much more in return. The bar flourished with fans, and he became close to many on the team. Displayed on the wall is a personal invitation from the family to attend Bill Walsh's funeral service. And he became friends with many of the players who were part of the glory days of those first championships.
It's been a great ride, and here we are, 42 years later, hoping for another one.
Well, Harrison says he never intended the Canyon Inn to be a 49ers restaurant per se. It just kind of evolved that way, which each new memory added to the walls. Now, after the highs and lows of Sunday's game against the Detroit Lions, many of the faithful are finally catching their breath. But 2 days after such a thrilling contest, our Kelsey Thorud shows us fans are already gearing up for what's next.
Shirt, my son wants a hat, I want a hat. Got to have one for the collection.
Less than 24 hours after watching his beloved 49ers take home the NFC Championship, Jesse Mendez was back at Levi's Stadium to buy the game's commemorative merch to add to his collection.
As soon as work's over, I don't wear anything but 49er. So it's 49er t-shirts, polos. So in jerseys, I probably got about 60 jerseys. Wow. And 20 or 30 sweatshirts, sweats, everything.
Jesse is a Niners super fan. He's a member of the 408 Faithful Fan Club and even has a brick with his name on it inside the stadium.
I wish they'd start it up again because I want to get one for the kids now. We didn't know what we were doing. We did it, and now we see it. We're like, oh, we should have got one for the whole family. Now we're just like, what did you put my name on there? I'm like, sorry.
That's what happens when you have kids. Yeah. Jesse has been to countless Niners games at this stadium, but says Sunday may have been the best game he's ever seen here.
At one point, I stopped screaming and just kind of took it all in, and just enormous. And it was enormous. It was unreal of how loud and just the stadium was rocking, and it was crazy.
He now can't wait to see how the faithful turn out in Vegas. He's still trying to figure out if he'll be able to get a ticket to the game, but says no matter what, a huge contingency of the 408 faithful will be there.
We're taking all this, the canopies, the DJs, and everything will be out there, and it's going to be a party just like everything else, just like any other game.
And no matter where Jesse ends up watching the game, he says one thing is for sure.
If they don't change what they're doing for that first half, I'm going to be a gray-headed old man that can barely walk because it's killing me. It's going to be rough, but it's going to be fun. You know, it's what this football is all about.
And again, we are your Super Bowl station. You can watch the big game on KPIX and streaming on Paramount Plus on February 11th. Still ahead, a stressful time for some students with college acceptance letters rolling out, why they might have even been more anxious this year. And a reminder, you can stream CBS News Bay Area wherever, whenever. Catch all of our live newscasts plus news and weather updates throughout the day. Find us on the free CBS News app or on Pluto TV.
This is Picks Plus. More of what you want, more often. More local news in the morning and the primetime edition. The only 8 and 9 p.m. news. With Devin Peely, Elizabeth Cook, Juliette Goodrich, and Sarah Donchie. Groundbreaking original storytelling from the KPIX newsroom. Plus Bear Politics, Project Earth, and weather like you've never seen. The primetime edition. Weeknights on the new Picks Plus. 44 Cable 12.
Yesterday was a very warm day for us here in the Bay Area, to the point where we actually broke records in certain pockets of the Bay. San Francisco hit 73 degrees. Today, we're sitting at 62, so a very big difference with partly cloudy skies rolling their way into the Bay heading into this afternoon. It'll be a cloudy day for us into the evening hours tonight as we gear up for heavy rain tomorrow. So these 70s we see right now near San Jose, we're going to get rid of those as we head into the next 7 days. Take a look at this. An atmospheric river building its way in from offshore as we wake up tomorrow morning, heading into the afternoon hours. Is going to cause a lot of issues for us. We've called for a first alert weather day tomorrow, and we still see those showers lasting into Thursday and Friday's forecast. It clears up a little bit heading into Saturday afternoon. As we head into Sunday, more rain is expected to kick off next week.
Attorney General Rob Bonta says his office will be keeping a close eye on the Oakland Unified School District over the next year or so in case it considers any more school closures or consolidations. Bonta sent a letter to the district saying its now rescinded decision in 2022 to close several schools would have disproportionately impacted Black and low-income students. The decision was met with protests and even a hunger strike. We've reached out to Oakland Unified for a response and are waiting to hear back. Now, we all know the process of applying for college can be both an exciting and overwhelming time for high school seniors. And the new changes to the application process is not making it easier. Our Lauren Tom spoke to students about how they're navigating these new hurdles.
The halls of James Lick High School in San Jose are filled with excitement for seniors who are anxiously awaiting to hear back about their college applications. But this year's application process was different for these teens after the repeal of affirmative action and modifications to obtaining financial aid.
Just like making sure that I wasn't looked at as just another Hispanic person. Definitely coming from a low-income community with the limited resources, I really wanted to stand out and let them know that I am a hardworking student.
For Ada Mari, her eyes are set on a private school out of state where affirmative action was repealed last year.
I'm applying to Santa Clara, Stanford, Chapman. I'm also applying to Duke.
Once she enrolls, she'll be the first in her family to attend a four-year university.
It's upsetting just because there's that advantage of them trying to make us seem fair, as if we're in the same category, but in reality is we struggle with the limited resources that we have. So when we do our best to join extracurricular activities or sports, it's like we are not only doing that, but we're also putting a lot of hard work into our schoolwork.
Being a first-gen college student is the case for many students at James Lick, but following the repeal of affirmative action, they say their goal was to make themselves stand out through their lived experiences.
They want to look for diversity, yet diversity shouldn't just come from how they look, but like how they've lived their life.
It's uncharted territory, says college admissions expert Irina Smith.
It's been a messy, extremely unhelpful late rollout, and together with the SAT going digital and making huge changes and the repeal of affirmative action, college applications have never been a low-key, unstressful process for most students, but this year it seems to be like literally everything that could go wrong is going wrong and or just becoming more stressful.
Students of color from low-income families are now facing a double whammy of sorts. It's an extra hurdle to show colleges how they've persevered through adversity. And while the new FAFSA makes it easier to apply, financial aid is expected to come later than usual.
As 17-year-olds, they're essentially having to navigate political shifts in terms of what the Supreme Court decided, what colleges decided they would do with that. And I think to put 17-year-olds in that place is frankly not very nice.
For Ada Mari, she's already been accepted to 3 of the 13 schools she applied to, proving to herself that the extra effort is setting her apart from the rest.
Now, the updated FAFSA was launched December 30th, 3 months late. And that is not the only potential issue here. The Department of Education failed to adjust for the sharp rise in inflation in the new form. That could lead to millions of students getting less aid than they deserve. Well, California lawmakers have introduced landmark bills to protect youth from social media addiction and strengthen their online privacy rights. One of the bills closes a gap in the law that leaves 17-year-olds vulnerable to having their online data stolen or sold. Violations of the law could result in up to $5,000 in civil penalties.
We're not just inviting the conversation, though we do invite the conversation. We're also demanding that our children be kept safe, whether it be through legislation or litigation.
Now, this bill also gives parents the option to set a viewing limit on social media platforms and can prevent notifications from reaching kids during school hours or when they should be asleep. Coming up in our next half hour on CBS News Bay Area, football fans in Vegas are placing their bets for the Super Bowl, how a fun wager between childhood friends led to a great payoff moment for one of the faithful. And we're checking in with Niner fans still recovering from Sunday's roller coaster ride, why one mom thinks her baby may have helped the Niners turn things around.
These are your neighborhoods. This is your world. CBS News Bay Area.
Still ahead on KPI.
With Juliette Goodrich. And the CBS Evening News with Nora O'Donnell. Taking you to the day's top stories. Smart, comprehensive coverage. And immersive weather like you have never seen it. Join Juliette Goodrich and Nora O'Donnell. Weeknight 6 to 7:30 on KPIX.
I'm Elizabeth Cook, and this is The Minute. The Pentagon has released the identities of the 3 American service members who were killed in a drone attack on a base in Jordan. They are Specialist Breonna Moffett, Specialist Kennedy Sanders, and Sergeant William Rivers. Their deaths are blamed on a militia linked to Iran. California lawmakers introduced a new bill to protect youth from being addicted to social media. The bill gives parents the option to set and adjust viewing limits and prevents notifications from reaching kids during school hours or when they should be asleep. UPS says it plans to cut 12,000 jobs as part of a bid to save $1 billion in costs. Managers and contractor positions will make up most of the layoffs. It comes 5 months after the company averted a massive strike by agreeing to a new labor contract. The Bay Area's only primetime newscast at 8 and 9 on the all-new Pix Plus 44 Cable 12.
Yesterday was a beautiful warm day for us as high pressure sat directly over us, bringing in above average temperatures near San Francisco, stretching all throughout the Bay Area. We got up to 73 degrees in San Francisco, breaking records. But now as we head into our Wednesday forecast tomorrow, we have a new issue moving its way in. An atmospheric river right around the corner, bringing in loads of rain, anywhere up to around 3.5 inches for Wednesday alone up in the North Bay. Watch this as we time it out, because today's just a partly cloudy day. Tomorrow, as we wake up in those early morning hours, we start seeing light rain, building into moderate to heavy pockets of rain all the way into that 9 o'clock hour up near Santa Rosa, stretching down into San Francisco. Now that same event is going to continue to windshield wiper its way down into the Santa Clara Valley, bringing in heavy showers there too. Tomorrow we could see about 1.5 inches of rain down into the Santa Clara Valley, and as that system moves its way up into the Sierra, it'll bring in plenty of snow for our friends up there too. It doesn't let off until around Thursday morning. Even at that point, we're still left with unsettled weather into Thursday and Friday. That's the reason why the National Weather Service has called for a flood watch already for all of the Bay Area. If you live in those flood-prone areas, this is the time to prepare today. Make sure you're gearing up and getting ready for tomorrow. Up into the Sierra, they are under a winter storm watch, which will last until Friday afternoon. Now, as we take a look at what's happening for us today, it's not nearly as warm as yesterday. Like I mentioned, 70s in San Francisco yesterday. Today, we're sitting in the 60s. Same trend over in Oakland, same trend off into the East Bay, and down into the Santa Clara Valley we go. There's one pocket of the Bay Area that actually hits the 70s today. It's San Jose. It's 71 degrees this afternoon, but we are going to get rid of the 70s once we head into the rest of this week. We're right back down to average temperatures, 50s into our Friday and Saturday forecast. Heading into Sunday, more rain returns into the Bay Area, so really it is going to be a very wet setup heading into the next couple days. We need to prepare now. Make sure you have those umbrellas ready to go for those kiddos heading to school. Make sure you give yourself extra space on the roads. It's going to be a wet and cool day for us Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, same trend. It lets up a little bit for Saturday as we gear up for more heading into Sunday.
The stage is set for the 49ers Chiefs showdown at the Super Bowl in Vegas. The city of neon lights is bringing the faithful from all over the Bay Area. Plenty of wagers were won and lost this past weekend. Our Reed Cowan caught a fun moment in Vegas between friends settling a bet they made.
So much fun all morning at Circa Stadium Swim, where people are making connections. Venues like this all over Las Vegas are preparing to host people who maybe don't want to pay the big ticket prices to watch the Super Bowl inside the stadium, but places like this with the big screen and the pool the size of a football field, they'll be ready to catch so many visitors, many from the Bay Area that will be coming in. Now, while people are here, they're settling bets. And the question of the morning is this: how do you stay friends with somebody who cheers for the opposing team? We met two guys who've known each other since 5th grade who were able to do just that. Watch this. All right, speaking about how sports can cause unity here, this is going to be a moment where some pain, some division gets healed. This is Carl. Yes. This is Brian. Brian identifies as what?
A diehard Packers fan.
Not just a Packers fan, a
diehard Packers.
Yes. And so he's all up in his feelings here, but he made a bet with this guy.
Yes, sir.
And what was the bet?
That couple of dollars, plus he has to wear the jersey of Deebo Samuel in Vegas, and we need proof.
And you're a gentleman.
I gotta live up to my bet.
So this is a moment here. Take it away, gentlemen.
Let's go. Let's go.
Is this hurt? Is this hurting?
Who else wants some of Deebo? You gotta put it on, and it's on camera. There we go. Who else wants some of Deebo?
It's the worst. I hope y'all lose by 50.
Shout out to my boy.
Oh, now there's a face. There you go.
Can you do a little twirl in it? I need to see the whole thing. Yeah. There we go.
That's love.
Boom.
That's love, though.
Yeah, I gotta live up to my bet.
That's how sports brings us together. Let's remember that. Yeah, and he was really rubbing that in, right? He made his friend take a spin there in that jersey, but I thought he looked pretty good in it. From Circa Stadium Swim in Las Vegas, I'm Reed Cowan. Back to you, friends, in the studio.
Well, he was a good sport, that's for sure. Well, again, Reed will be in Vegas all week long, showing us how the city is getting ready for the Super Bowl. He will have live reports on our morning show beginning at 5 a.m. Well, the come-from-behind win against the Detroit Lions secured the Niners ticket to Super Bowl 58, and it's still the talk of the town here in the Bay Area. John Ramos caught up with fans basking in the Super Bowl euphoria.
It's pretty quiet on the streets of San Francisco, but you can't really fault people for not being out and about. They may be taking time to recover from the roller coaster ride the 49ers put us through on Sunday. The sun was shining and the sky was blue over San Francisco, a miraculous sign of life after the near-death experience that 49er fan Jasmine Ontiveros had on Sunday.
We're big 49er fans. It's like a big hometown pride thing for us.
During lunch at the Ferry Building, Ontiveros had to admit she thought the season was over when they went down by 17 points at the half.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, definitely by halftime I was like, we're done. You know, the Lions had great defense. They also had very great offense. I was like, this is going to be tough to come back. I was very surprised that we actually won.
But they call Niner fans the faithful for a reason.
Fun game, just a roller coaster ride.
And faith was something Alex Karkar insists he never lost.
No, I was always certain that they were going to come back.
Really?
Yeah, my kid was upset. I said, just wait and see. They're going to come back in the second half. I don't know. I never lost hope.
I told myself, I'm a believer, right? You know, I'm going to believe we're going to come back. But yes, it was a little, I would be lying if I said there wasn't any kind of concern or doubt in my mind.
But the team did come back, and Monique Mabudas thought it all started when Brock Purdy tucked the ball and took off running.
I don't think I've ever seen him run like that. And I think that really, those drives really changed the direction of the game and got us fired up and got the stadium back alive too, because that place was just roaring.
Shane Lilly brought his family from Mojave to Levi's Stadium to see the game, and he thought the turning point was the incredible circus catch by Brandon Ayuk after the ball bounced off the face mask of his defender.
I knew we were coming back and we were going to win it. Right then I knew that we were going to win it. Because you could just feel the crowd and all the energy.
But Colleen Fredericks actually credits someone else for the comeback win. She decided to put her baby down for a nap at halftime.
When I came back, they were doing well, so the baby used some magic, and it really felt like that put us over the edge and got us to the Super Bowl.
You've got to feel sorry for Lions fans, beaten by a baby. Alan Clark says he was just sure this was going to be his year.
We've been waiting forever, as long as I can remember. I'm 58 and I, never seen the Lions do a championship. But this was our first moment breaking free of the clouds and seeing the sunshine and thinking, yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this happen. And, so yeah, it's more than a little disappointing.
But there's always next year. The 49ers feel this is their year. So it's on to Las Vegas to meet their old friend Patrick Mahomes. And this time, can you put the baby to bed a little sooner?
Well, if you can't snag a ticket for Super Bowl 58 in Vegas, there's no need to worry. You can watch the game on KPIX and streaming on Paramount Plus on February 11th. Up next. The catch of the season coming up in today's Red and Gold Report, how two of the 49ers' newest weapons are making all the difference.
Your late night is getting a whole lot better for two reasons. Sarah and Stephen. The late news with Sarah Donchie. Then The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Back with all new episodes.
Really?
These are two shows you'll want to spend the night with.
Then go to sleep knowing you won at TV. What?
Record it, stream it, watch it live. The late news and the all-new Late Show. Weeknights starting at 11 on KPIX.
It is a cloudy day for us today here in the Bay Area as we gear up for heavy showers rolling their way into the Bay Area tomorrow, heading in the morning hours. It starts up in the North Bay. They're expected to see about 3.5 inches of rain all throughout Wednesday's forecast, down into the Santa Clara Valley into the afternoon hours. It starts to windshield wiper its way in. We'll see moderate to heavy pockets of rain all throughout tomorrow. So on the surface level, we need to take it slow. On the roads, we need to make sure we have those umbrellas ready to go. Heading into the evening hours tomorrow night, the rain still doesn't let up. We're seeing consistent rain along the peninsula until around midnight. After that, we gear up for light showers expected Thursday heading into Friday.
The 49ers have had several iconic catches over the years. Dwight Clark, Terrell Owens, Vernon Davis, and now Brandon Ayuk. Our sports director, Vern Glenn, has the highlights.
This is the Volkswagen Red and Gold Report.
The 49ers will get a Super Bowl rematch with the Kansas City Chiefs. But this time, they got a few more weapons on offense, like Brock Purdy and Brandon Ayuk. Now, Purdy and Ayuk connected on one of the biggest plays of the game Sunday. It bounced off the defender's face mask, and Ayuk made a diving catch. Nothing will ever top the significance of Dwight Clark's the catch. But this one is right up there with one of the biggest grabs in team history.
Where does that rank for you all time? Number one to the Super Bowl. To the Super Bowl.
I see the DB drop the ball, and I'm just like, and then I see Brandon catch it, and I'm thinking he scored, and then we get in the huddle. Brandon looking at Kyle like he just said, and hanging like no touchdown, and I'm like, bro, get in the huddle, we got to run another play, but that was a crazy play that he made.
I was way in the back, and I saw a flag. I was like, oh, thank goodness we got a flag. And all of a sudden, everyone was celebrating. He's in the end zone, like fake dunking on the goalpost. And I was like, he caught it? Like, so I was like, did he one-hand catch it? Like, what did he do? And I saw the replay. I was like, just how we intended it to look. Off the guy's face mask, right to BA. Dang, Brock's good at football, isn't he?
With a Red and Gold Report, I'm Vern Glenn.
And we all know the Niners and the Chiefs have been here before. Both teams faced off at the Super Bowl 4 years ago, and the Chiefs won that game. Now heading into Vegas, the Niners are looking to avenge that loss and are trying to rekindle their glory days. Now, the 49ers have certainly given the Bay Area something to rally about, and here is one poetic nod to that by our news reporter, Lorene Ayub.
Super Bowl 58. Fate can no longer wait. For the Niners, not a second too late. See, this is a predictory of our collective victory, reclaiming San Francisco's golden history. Because we're not just playing for survival. This is an SF revival. See, even when it gets dark, we always find a way to a fresh start. Because every Niner touchdown is a major come-up for the city. And no, we're not just playing pretty. See, perseverance built the Bay, and it's the faithful who lead the way. Because if our bridges are golden, then our hearts are too. Timeless landmarks and a team fighting for you, a city lighting for you. See, we're not just playing for survival. This is an SF revival.
Coming up, a singer from Northern California is up for 7 Grammy Awards. We'll hear from Victoria Monet on her songwriting journey.
I would like to see the headlines that the national press picks up on and say, look, there's another side to the Bay Area.
We take those headlines a little step further to sort of connect all these wonderful communities here.
Really embracing the positivity and hopefully spreading it.
The Bay Area is full of some amazing, innovative change makers.
People that are out there making a difference.
In fact, I feel privileged that I get to share those stories.
Wake up with the Morning Edition, weekdays on KPIX.
Giving an update on the homicide case of security guard Kevin Nishida. Let's listen in.
Shadiah Mitchell was taken into custody on March 16th, and Herschel Hale was taken into custody on June 13th, and both remain in custody at this point. On January 17th, 2024, the U.S. Marshals were tasked with locating LaRon Gilbert in Kansas City, Missouri. They located LaRon, and after a brief foot pursuit, LaRon was safely taken into custody and booked at the county jail. He's to be extradited this afternoon and will be booked at Santa Rita Jail. At this point, the case is in the hands of the Alameda County DA's office, and they'll be taking the case forward from here. But I do want to take a moment to thank OPD, their countless OPD officers that helped with this investigation, outside agencies, other law enforcement agencies, multiple jurisdictions that also played a role. I also want to thank them and our media for keeping this case current and in the news, making sure it's still current. And with that said, I also want to thank the community. I think without the community's help and support, we wouldn't be where we are. So I just want to thank you.
I'm Virginia Nishida. I'm the widow of Kevin's. And I just want to say thank you from Kevin, our family, and myself. Thank you to the Oakland Police Department, the U.S. Marshals, and all of the law enforcement agencies that were involved with this capture. Thank you to the community in Oakland and elsewhere that helped. And thank you to the media as well for keeping it alive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Nishida. We'll now open up the floor for questions. Again, questions will be taken by Sergeant Allen only.
Can you detail what you believe Gilbert's involvement was in this case?
Yes, we believe Gilbert was the driver of the Acura at the time.
So, Sergeant Allen,
yes.
Any defense assertions that OPD is changing the theory, you guys have never wavered in your belief that Mitchell is the suspected gunman, correct?
There has been communication with the DA's office. It's still in communication, but at this point, at the time of that the case was presented to the DA's office, it was LaRon was the driver of the Acura at the time.
Right. How about the suspected gunman? Is that in fact you believe evidence will show it's Mr. Mitchell, Shadiah Mitchell is the gunman?
So correct. At the time that the case was presented, Shadiah Mitchell was identified as the shooter. Like I said, we've been in communication with the DA's office, and at this point, like I said, it's still an active investigation. But at this point, we're going forward with Shadiah shooter, LaRon driver.
Are all three suspects charged with the same crime?
Yes.
And Sergeant, does OPD want to talk about how the DA, the predecessor DA O'Malley, did file a special circuit 187 with special circuit attempt murder, and that special circuit is now.
We're not going to talk about the previous DA.
How about the current DA has removed that?
Next person. Can you guys just explain the timeline? I know that Mr. Gilbert was, I think, arrested last week. Why is it taking some time to bring him here? What's the timeline? You said he's being extradited today. When does he arrive, and when will he make his first court appearance?
Right. So the time difference is just coordinating transport from Missouri to Alameda County, and that's all. It's just all through the CDCR. But he is confirmed. I was in contact with the CDCR right before this press conference, and he's expected to be booked at Santa Rita Jail this afternoon at around 11:30. I don't know the first court appearance yet.
Can you detail at all how he was found and what investigation led to that? Because I know you guys have been looking for him for quite some time.
Yeah, so we had information that he might be in Kansas City, Missouri. So we had the marshals go out and check certain areas where we thought that he might be, and he was there, and they were able to take him in.
We have time for two last questions.
So I'm guessing he probably thought that he may have gotten away with this, or at least he was far enough away from the law to breathe a little easier. What is your message to the Oakland community, the larger Bay Area community, when it comes to following up on these type of cases to make sure that justice is done?
we never stop. I mean, we go as far as we need to go, whether it's Missouri, whether it's New York, whether it's, San Leandro. Case is still going. As long as there's suspects out there, we'll keep looking for them.
What was the connection to Kansas? Why was he in Kansas City?
I'm not sure.
Are you confident you're end of the active investigation? Nobody assisted them. You're not looking for anybody else.
That is to be determined at this time.
Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for joining us. This concludes our news conference. If you have any other questions that may not have been
And if you're just joining us, this was a press conference from the Oakland Police Department giving an update on the murder case of security guard Kevin Nishida. They just announced they have arrested a third suspect in Kansas City, Missouri. Right now, 3 people are in custody for Kevin Nishida's murder. We'll have the very latest on all of our newscasts at noon, 3 p.m., 5, and the later shows. Switching gears, music's biggest night is right around the corner. The 66th Annual Grammy Awards will air right here on KPIX this Sunday at 5 p.m., and there are plenty of nominees representing the Bay Area. One local artist has a lot to celebrate. R&B singer Victoria Monet received 7 nominations.
Put that on my mama, on my hood, I look fly.
Monet was born in Atlanta but was raised in Sacramento. The 34-year-old's daughter is also featured in this music video for her hit song On My Mama. 2-year-old Hazel is also nominated alongside her mom for Best Traditional R&B Performance. This makes Hazel the youngest Grammy nominee ever. CBS Morning's Gayle King sat down with Monet to talk about her journey as a songwriter and working with her daughter.
I like a description of you that you have said you've been working for 14 years, yet this still feels like the beginning.
Yes, yes, it is the beginning. It's like, and I'm not saying that to discredit all of the previous work and blood, sweat, tears, people I've encountered and people who have supported me through that chapter. But I think this is the beginning of
How so?
silver lining. It feels like the silver lining. It's like, okay, all of those things were worth it.
And you can watch more of Gayle King's interview with Monet on CBS Mornings. Other nominees with Bay Area ties include Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Metallica, Molly Tuttle and the Golden Highway, Michael Romanowski and Prentice Powell, and Sean William. Comedian Trevor Noah will host the Grammys live this Sunday starting at 5 p.m. It airs on KPIX and streams on Paramount+. Well, the excitement is building among Niner and Chiefs fans as we get closer to the big game. But football players aren't the only ones taking the stage on Super Bowl Sunday. Oh, this is the best. This year, Animal Planet's Puppy Bowl will be its biggest ever. They have 131 puppies participating from 73 shelters across dozens of states. And this year, they'll have the smallest pup they've ever had, weighing in at less than 2 pounds. Oh no, I hope they protect him. Their biggest participant is Levi, this guy, the Great Dane, who's 80 pounds. And in honor of the Niners, we got Bark Purdy, one of the pups still in contention for the starting lineup. You can vote for your favorite pup to join the starters online. Well, here's something that could be a good omen for the Niners. There's also a Puppy Bowl player named Patrick Mabones. He's from Iowa, and he lost the first round of the fan voting to be a starting puppy. He still gets to play, though. Breaking news from Contra Costa County, where a small plane has crashed in the middle of an intersection. This is in Concord, at Concord Avenue and Diamond Boulevard. It's unclear how many people were on board, but as you can see, that road is blocked off to traffic. Not far from Buchanan Field, we'll have calls out to them and are waiting to hear back. We also have crews headed to the scene and we'll bring you more information as we get it. Again, this is in Concord, where a small plane has crashed there in the middle of the intersection. You can see all roads surrounding that area have been blocked off. You can see some emergency crews there. You see a fire truck, also some police cars there. No sign of an ambulance yet, so unclear if there have been any injuries. But again, a small plane has crashed in the middle of an intersection in Concord. We have crews on the scene, and they're going to bring you the very latest on this plane crash. And right now, it seems like we are trying to effort a phone interview on the very latest of what's kind of going on here. But again, this was a small plane crash in the middle of an intersection in Concord. And as we kind of zoom in there, you can see the front part of the plane very badly damaged. No sign of any fire or smoke near the plane right now, but you do see that large fire truck and other fire patrols as well as police cars in that area. Again, this was a small plane crash in Concord in the middle of an intersection. All the roads surrounding this area have been closed off to traffic. Unclear how close this is to an actual highway. This looks like an intersection in the middle of a more residential neighborhood there, but you can see several police cars, a fire truck, no sign of any fire, no ambulance also. So hopefully that leads us to believe there are no serious injuries. Again, we're still waiting to hear what exactly caused this plane to crash and who was on board and the status of their injuries right now. Again, this is a small plane crash in Concord in the middle of this intersection. It looks like in some kind of residential neighborhood, and next to one corner of this intersection looks like some kind of parking lot. On the other section, it looks like a larger residential building, perhaps an apartment building. Unclear kind of what it is, but it looks like this is off the main highway there and next to kind of a residential neighborhood there. Now, as we zoom out, it looks like it's near kind of a more business park area where there's a parking lot. But again, all the roads around this intersection have been blocked off. It looks like on the other side, it looks like some sort of park or maybe perhaps even a golf course. Unclear to kind of see what that area is. We're going to get more information though. And from afar, it looks like the plane has sustained major damage to the front part of the plane there. You can see some crews surrounding the plane crash. No sign of flames or smoke in the area. But again, obviously a very traumatic scene for the people who are around that area to see a small plane come crashing down right on the street in the middle of this intersection. Again, this is in Concord, and it looks like it's in kind of a residential, also maybe a smaller business park area. You see some people walking around. I'm assuming those are emergency crews because this area is blocked off. But again, this is a small plane crash in the middle of an intersection in Concord. You can see some emergency crews surrounding the plane crash there. Unclear how many people were on board this flight and the status of their injuries. But it looks like it's off the main drag of Concord. Unclear exactly where this is in the actual city, but it looks like it's on the corner there. There's sort of a business park on one side. As we zoom out, it appears to be a smaller business complex on one side and a parking lot and perhaps a maybe larger business complex on the other side. So not a lot of traffic in this area is because mostly those roads surrounding the crash have been blocked off while investigators look into the status of the people that were on board this plane. And again, what happened here and how this plane crashed. We know that there is an airport, the Concord Airport in the area. Unclear though if that plane was taking off or landing at that airport. A lot of questions here that we need to get some answers. But as you can see there, a small plane has crashed in the middle of this intersection in Concord next to a couple of business complexes there. We see one fire truck and several police cars there. No sign of any ambulance, and it looks like a relatively small amount of emergency personnel, at least on the ground right now. Now, of course, that could change as the situation develops in terms of the status of injuries and the safety surrounding this plane that again crashed just a few moments ago in Concord in the middle of this intersection, off the main drag there in Concord, but still a very traumatic scene next to two business park on one side and a parking lot on the other. Again, we are following the very latest on this small plane crash in Concord in the middle of this intersection. We'll bring you the very latest on our noon newscast and here, of course, on CBS News Bay Area for the latest developments. Well, thanks so much for streaming CBS News Bay Area. I'm Elizabeth Cook. We'll be right back with your First Alert forecast and a look at your top stories. I'm Elizabeth Cook, and this is The Minute. We are counting